Ryan, I want to come to you to start because we've got a condensed window here. There's a camp from last weekend. A lot of important things came out of that camp. There's also a 7-on-7 coming up tomorrow and a prospect camp on Sunday. When I said, we can't get to all the things, I knew we weren't going to get to all of it on the rundown today, let alone things that we didn't even put on there. So where do you want to go in terms of look ahead or look back at what happened last weekend?
I think the two main takeaways, there's a lot of big takeaways. I mean, Sean, you can hit on the tight end. You really kind of noticed. I think Braswell Thomas was the biggest takeaway for me. Let me clarify. Zion Ellie was the star of the show last week, the 2026 defensive end, top-ranked defensive end in the country. His numbers are incredible. We already knew that after Under Armour about 3-4 weeks ago. He only just improved on them or shined in other ways at Penn State last weekend. He is absolutely a freak and a guy that we're going to be talking about a ton over the next year. Braswell Thomas, though, put it out there publicly about his official visit. We reported on that, I think, Tuesday, what it was. I think Penn State would like to see more things on film, but the athletic numbers he put up last week, and especially when you compare when he came the year before and the improvement he's made, really stood out to the staff because they still believe that maybe even there can be even more improvement. So just everything from his shuttle to his 40s, all multiple tenths better. His broad jump, triple broad jump, we're talking, a couple feet better for the triple, which I think really grabbed the staff's eye. So there's athleticism there that may still be untapped, and that's why Penn State's going to add him for an official visit here at the end of the month. Sean, do you want to anybody you want to hit on from last week before we get into 7-on-7 or any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, Brian Kortovich, and I knew I was going to mess that up, even though I asked him how to pronounce it. He doesn't have an offer from Penn State yet. He's going to Purdue this weekend, probably Illinois next weekend. But Penn State wants to stay in this one as long as they possibly can. Obviously, Andrew Olish still the top target there at tight end. But Kortovich, we talk about these big, freakish type numbers. He ran faster than Luke Reynolds. He ran faster than Olish. This is a guy at 6'4", 225 that can move. So he was close to Lyric Samuel, and we think that Lyric Samuel can move at that size. So that says something in a room where you have to establish yourself as on another tier athletically. And I think that fits. Penn State's yet to offer, but him coming out to camp, him performing at camp and running the way that he did certainly got on that radar. So it's definitely one. We've seen some of these guys pop up. We saw Matt Henderson pop up. We've seen Brody Lennon pop up, and maybe they don't have the stars right now, but those are the guys that are on the track that will be probably 4-star guys when all is said and done.
Let me add real quick to you, Frank. I'm sorry. Well, I just want to make sure we mention Miles McAfee, 2027 wide receiver, picked up an offer from Penn State this week. Yeah, I just want to make sure we mention him because he stole the show down at Baltimore. Right. Thought he looked really good at Penn State.
I only wrote about him.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. And then Colt Lumpers as well, another 2027 guy. Again, 2027. We got 2+ years to talk about these guys, but I think both of them right now are making a case to be not only just guys best in the region, but potential top 150 prospects, something like that.
I'll throw in there Austin Busso from Bergen Catholic, another guy. Miles McAfee was the best, but right behind him was Busso, a guy who both of these guys are really good route runners for their age and also have kind of that complete package of athletic traits that can develop over time. They were the guys that I saw the most. One other guy I'll throw on there just as I don't know where he lands, but I'm a big fan of Tavion Branch after last weekend, where he's big, physical athlete. I think other than maybe some frame issues of not being 6'5", not being 36-inch arms, he's got a lot of things that Penn State likes from an athleticism standpoint, moves pretty well. So
he tweeted that he's coming up again on Friday too, which for record, Friday's a 7-on-7 big man challenge. But as we saw last year, remember Josh Williams came up, and because it's evaluation day, they can have a couple individual guys come up and work with the staff. So just coming back again for an individual kind of workout with Troutwine, certainly a guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Well, keep going. Other guys that you're interested in coming up this weekend, as we mentioned, he's the 7-on-7 Big Man Challenge Friday. There's a prospect camp on Sunday. What are the names that stand out to you, Ryan, that you've been able to source as to who you're looking for this coming weekend? I'll start with the
7-on-7 because it's tomorrow, right? We'll start with that one and get this Sunday. I think so. The first thing to note is Penn State had 2 7-on-7s last year. I think maybe 2 the year before, but correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. They're doing 3 this year. And this first week's going to be, I believe, the smallest one. I only have 16 teams confirmed right now. The last 2 years were 40 plus for both of the 2 7-on-7. So this one's going to be a little smaller. It's mainly focused on 3 teams, in my opinion. Gonzaga out of Washington, D.C., Amani Christian out of Pittsburgh, Roman Catholic out of Philadelphia. Those are the 3 schools that consistently produce the most talent, I would say, or at least the guys that, Penn State will really kind of keep a close eye on. Middletown, too, in Delaware has a couple guys. They'll be up as well. A couple guys to keep an eye on. But obviously, Kanoa Winston's taking an official visit to Penn State this weekend. But normally, when that happens, if Penn State pays for his transportation, he's not allowed to camp. Well, guess what? Penn State's not paying for his transportation. He's going to come up with his team, I believe, and then his parents are just going to drive him home after. So he is allowed to camp on Friday, and I do expect him to camp, which is great.
Love that he's working out with his team.
Love that too. Yeah, because again, Penn State could have paid for car service all the way home. He could have went home in one of those nice Mercedes, but no, he's gonna work out with his team, which I think absolutely stands out. So they have a couple others too. I think Carter Meadows and Kedrick Golston. Meadows is a defensive end. Golston's a linebacker. Both 2026 guys. Meadows already holds an offer from Penn State. Golston doesn't, but Golston also has a stacked list of offers. So keep an eye on those.
Father of the same name played in the NFL for a long time.
Right.
Yeah,
so
got the genes
for sure. Amani Christian, then obviously Deshaun Burnett already committed to Penn State. I've talked about David Davis a lot. I think he's going to be a guy that we talk about a good bit in the 2026 class. And then we'll see with Gabriel Jenkins. I kind of have him more as a safety right now than a corner. But he's a 2027 guy out of Amani that, will certainly be on the radar. Where he ends up long term, we'll kind of get a better feel for that. So, and then just with Roman, obviously Samaj Beals, quarterback 2026 class, holds a Penn State offer. We know there's a couple other guys ahead of him on the board right now, but he is a Pennsylvania guy and has consistently been up here. He was just here for the Elite 11 a couple weeks ago. Another guy to keep an eye on there. But it's a smaller 7-on-7. That's the main thing to stress this week. I think most of us will be watching Kanoa and some of those Amani guys. That's where my focus will be, at least.
Fitz, what are you looking for this weekend?
Sunday, we got some good underclassmen coming in. So most of the 2025s have moved out and on to official visits and things like that. So if you want to earn an offer, it's usually in the first weekend. So we'll keep an eye out for 2025 guys. But most of that rush of guys that are trying to earn that offer, earn the right to act on that offer, were going to be last weekend. I'm looking at underclassmen. I think it's a good group of quarterbacks coming in. Yes. Brady Edmonds from California just picked up a Michigan offer last weekend. I think he went to, just picked up a Michigan offer yesterday.
And he's visiting Ohio State today. Yeah,
visiting Ohio State today. That kid's going to be top of the board in terms of he's going to be like Troy Hune right now. California kid takes an early visit, and we're going to do this every year. As Penn State's going to get some of the top quarterbacks on campus in every class. You can add Brady Edmonds to that list right there. So that's one that I'm watching. There's a couple of good quarterbacks, but Carter Scruggs, the offensive lineman from Virginia, has an offer from Penn State. He's been up before, came up to a junior day in February. And
been on campus a couple times.
So that's
he was at the blue-white game as well.
Blue-white game. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's been in town a couple of times, and that's that's one of the guys you just keep an eye on. But should be another good group on Sunday.
And Scruggs right now. Go ahead. Give me 1 second, T-Rex. Scruggs right now I would have is one of the quick emerging offensive linemen in the region. His stock has really kind of taken off. 0-3 has him already at 126 in the country. He's going to be a player we're talking about a good bit. So there's a couple others, though, too. I just want to add, like Brendan Alexander out of Central Valley already holds a Penn State offer. Jacob Weatherspoon, cornerback out of Ohio, holds a Penn State offer. He just picked up Ohio State last night, I believe, if I saw that correctly. So that there's another guy to keep an eye on. And then keep an eye on Ben Whitford, too. A teammate of Matt Henderson at Powhatan. Didn't really know anything about him. Watched him at Baltimore. Left pretty impressed. I had him as one of the guys, in my notebook following camp is somebody that, I didn't know if that was like okay, we're taking Matt Henderson. Let's see if we can help Ben's recruitment a little bit. And then I watched him there, and I was like, oh, no, this kid can play. So he will be a guy I think we watch closely on Sunday as well.
Ryan, isn't there a lineman from Kansas coming in?
Is it Jack Fuchs? Is that the one?
I just wanted to see you
I think it's
second guess yourself before you said it. So.
The two linemen I'm really going to be watching, honestly, are Hiller and Kalis. Kalis out of Pittsburgh. They're both 2027 guys. Again, I know 2027. Talk about down the road. But Hiller looks like he could end up being another one in the region who's really good. But 2027, we'll worry about that later.
You handled that way too professionally.
Sorry. Never again.
Hey, it's T. Frank. Did you enjoy that video? Hope you did. I can't get you another one. Actually, yes, I can. You can click on the link here in this part of the video to go to another Blue White Illustrated video. So if you liked it, subscribe here to the Blue White Illustrated YouTube channel. You can also do that by clicking on this interactive link that I'm pointing vaguely to. Super helpful. Also, if you want more from Blue White Illustrated, go to bluewhiteillustrated.com and use our special promo code that you're getting right here. Subscribe for 2 months. You get it for just $1 using promo code PSU1. That's promo code PSU1 over at bluewhiteillustrated.com. You can check out the link in the description of this video to go right there. I try to make it as easy as I can. I just can't click it for you. That's the only, I can't reach over and click the buttons for you. You got to do that part.